Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it away. Tonight, we're gonna let it away. Tonight, we're gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it away. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it away. Tonight, we're gonna let it away. Tonight, we're gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it away.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in tonight to tonight's live. If I can talk, I'll get there. But welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. Feels like it's been a little while. But I was on the, what did we have earlier? The premiere. I couldn't think of it. But welcome in. Welcome in. If you guys haven't been in here before and you're like, who is this lady? Or you're watching on a replay, my name's Tanya or Titanium Built. Thank you for joining me. And thanks for everyone for coming back and joining me for another live. Enjoy seeing you guys. So I saw that everyone was in the chat. It's good to see everybody. It's good to see everyone. But we're going to go over some Idaho 4 tonight. I got a lot of stuff to show you guys, actually. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Ladybug. Hey, Casey. How you doing? Hey, Ashley. Hey, Dawn, what's today's date? Oh, one more day till Ashley's birthday. Hey, Dion. I did watch it. I actually watched it twice, Laura. I watched it with you guys and when I was recording it. There were a lot of you guys in there, though. And I'm really glad that you guys, sit there. You guys, come in and you watch them during the premiere. That really means a lot. I've asked YouTube, like, whether to do my videos on a premiere or to put them out into, just the interwebs, on YouTube without like any premiere. And it says to do a premiere first. And I've been enjoying them. Hey, Therese. She's driving. Be careful driving. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Pete. Let's go, he said. Did I take Advil? I had a headache earlier. It went away and now I'm getting it again. Maybe we're going to take one Advil. These are Advil. They are the fast acting tablets. I don't know if your parents ever told you that when you were young, but that's what they used to tell us. They used to tell us they're easier to swallow. I don't know, but been on Advil ever since I was probably like 18 or something. I've been taking Advil. Sorry, but I busted Casey's eardrums out. Hey, Kara, welcome in. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Kira. Hey, Cupcakes. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Crime Kitty. Number 38. Woo. Hey, Holly Adams. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Well, baby girl's not even in here, so we'll just ban them. Can't even get through my spiel without people coming in. I don't care. I don't care. We're usually pretty quick on getting them. But if baby girl was in here, she would give you herself. I'm afraid of baby girl. Baby girl might have a name like baby girl, but baby girl looks like she could beat you up there, buddy. And me too. I said me too. But let me go ahead and put our link to the channel membership in the chat in case anybody decides they want to join our membership as we're going through everything. Hey, Tracy. There we go. I think I put it in there. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to pin it to the top. And then if you guys don't mind, take a quick second to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all the buttons, and we'll start with tonight's live. I'm going to wear my glasses tonight. My allergies. I was fine until I think it's something in this room. Because I didn't have any problems until I started sitting over here. What do we have? Could it be the pumice grass? It could be. I've had this problem with like dry florals before, so that could be it. That could be why I'm sniffling. I went through almost a whole box of tissue since I've been sitting in here the last couple of hours. So I was getting some stuff ready for tonight's live, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of stuff. I actually was going to, okay, let me grab it really quick so I don't forget. Let me think. Go to YouTube. Oh wait, that's not YouTube. Just gonna pull it up if I could. You can tell I don't like do this very often. So last night, I'm going to put her picture up really quick. We were going to discuss Brittany Gard's case. She was a mother of two, I believe. She had, well, I know, yeah, she was a mother too. She was supposed to be at her daughter's volleyball game, and you could tell by her, I got on her Facebook and everything. Like, I was deep diving this lady last night before I thought we were going to go live. And I got on her Facebook, and you could tell she was always like in her kids' life. Like, she's always there for the sports. She's always present, always doing all the things. So I heard her, it was her brother, I think her brother-in-law maybe, and her sister talk on Law and Crime. And I was like, wow, this is really a crazy case, because come to find out, the little girl went to her volleyball game, goes to her dad's house, I guess goes to a friend's house, and then the friend's mom goes to take her home. Well, when she arrives at home, her house is in flames, but her mother is nowhere to be found. So the mom's keys, purse, cell phone were all inside the house. It wasn't like a total wreckage. I'm taking it. I think the cops said it was a suspicious fire. So I was like, well, I'm here for that. Like, I'm here to help find her. Right. So literally probably 10, how long was it before the live? Not even an hour before the live hit, I see on Twitter or X, thank goodness they found her. Right. But then I started thinking again about it. And I'm like, where did they find her? So I listened to Law and Crime again. They found her like 8 to 10 miles from her house in the woods, but she's been missing for like 8 days. So I'm like, well, what's she been doing out there? So now I feel like I'm even more wanting to know what's going on. Like, I'm like, it's so invested. I'm like, well, what happened to her? Where was she? Why was she all the way over there? Who caught her house on fire? And where was she for 8 days? Like, was she just in the woods? I don't know if we'll get those answers, but if we do, I'm going to do a live over it. Might do a live over it anyway. This girl had me like, This woman, I was just like, and she was from Bainbridge, Indiana. And I used to go to school in Bainbridge, Ohio, which has like, I don't know, 3,000 people, maybe. No, not even that many people live there, like 1,500. So I was just like, yeah, in the woods. So I don't know if she was hiding there or if she was, I mean, it couldn't have been like a gas explosion and like blew her over there because the house is still like standing. As far like I haven't been able to find pictures of the house. They're not anywhere. I thought I've been on Facebook groups and everything, but yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Right, Ashley? I'm wondering all those. It could be any of those. There's so many questions. I'm like, because she's never missed any of her kids' thing, like different sports or anything. And I guess that they had just all seen her like that afternoon, and she was, or not that afternoon, but like a couple days prior, and she was fine, like at a family like cookout or something. Her car was in the driveway. Yeah. Stuff was in. Yeah. I'm really like, I was ready to go ham on that case last night. I was like, we're gonna find you, girl. I was looking it up. I'm like, how far am I from there? Like, it was just, I felt for her family. So I just hope that she's okay. She's in the hospital right now. As far as I know, like she was last night anyway. And she seems she's okay. That's what her family's saying. She's in good hands, and they didn't say anything like, like anything crazy happened, So, and hey, Abby, by the way. Yeah, and how's Boo doing? That is a good question. The comments weren't really, Laura. Man, people are not kind. I just really wanted to help find her. And then now it's like something I can't get past almost, like my brain is like, okay, you learned all this stuff. Maybe I need to put it into a video or something. I had to get blood taken. Was that today? No, it was yesterday. That was another reason why I'm kind of glad I took yesterday off, because I was exhausted. Whenever I have to get blood drawn and shots, they did a shot in each arm. I could barely lift this one. I could still barely lift it. I was trying to get me. Okay, I've got so much stuff to show you. It's going to be a great show. I promise you that. I've got a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything, really. It's a very full night. So I have video that just came out, that I got of Kaylee and Madison the night of the murders when they were at the corner club. I got a podcast with the Idaho State Police Detective, Hugh Powell. He's going to take us behind the scenes of this investigation, the Idaho 4, and how they kind of, what they did behind the scenes. So that's in the new podcast that just came out. I got a Murphy update, which is a great update. It's always a great update. So we'll save that one to the last. And then And then we have, they figured out who took the video of Brian Koberger in the jail. So we'll go over that as well. And then also there's surveillance video of him when he was circling the house. There's like 4 minutes and 30 seconds of it now, instead of just like the minute and a half that we had from Dateline. And then we had like a little bit more in one of the docuseries or documentaries we watched. We have like 4 minutes of it now. They said they got like hundreds of hours or something of this footage. It's in the article. We'll read over it. And I want to see the rest of it. I want to see the rest of that stuff. So where's the other 99 plus hours? So our friend, this is a new award. So Bill Thompson was awarded the Daniel Chadwick Civility Award. It's a new award. It's the first one ever given. Did they make this up just for Bill Thompson? Perhaps. I guess this is Bill Thompson when he's retired. I mean, look, he still looks the same. I mean, he doesn't look like he's very much more casual. I'd be in sweats, Bill. I'd be in sweats. But yeah, I figured I'd show you guys that. I saw that on Twitter and I was just like, oh, good grief. So he won that. I looked it up. It was the first one ever awarded. So it's the first one ever given, period. Like, I wonder if he spoke. I wish we could see that, because I think that would be funny. So, remember when Brian Koberger, he was in the jail or prison cell, and the whoever worked in the jail put out the video of him? Well, they found out who did that. But no criminal charges are going to be filed against the corrections officer. It says suspected of recording and releasing prison security footage of Brian Koberger, the man serving life in prison for killing 4 University of Idaho students, state police told the Idaho Statesman. Basically, just going to fire him. Actually, didn't even fire him. They let him resign. Well, is everyone afraid to do something around here? I mean, I want to know who it is. I want to know if he just recorded it for maybe his wife, because she was a big true crime fanatic or something. That's what, I was thinking that. Me too, Catherine. Oh, hey, Diana. You're not that late tonight. Hola, baby girl. Are you waiting on the doctor? I had to go to the doctor the other day. All my tests came back abnormal too. Some of them did. I was like, but they're only changing my iron. So, okay. And they're going to recount my blood things or something. I don't know, something with my blood. But yeah, hopefully the new vitamin I'm going to be on will work. So, basically it says prison officials in the Idaho State Police concluded their investigation into the leak of the video, which the state prison system said last month was determined to be authentic and in clear violation of Idaho Department of Corrections policy. After the footage made its way online in August, prison leadership committed to finding the person and holding them accountable, including with termination and potentially criminal prosecution. Well, you didn't do either, really. You let them resign so they could just go work at another prison if they want. And unless the prison calls this, hey, is this guy okay? Then you can say something. But no criminal prosecution. Should have put him in there with Koberger for a couple minutes. Investigators say they believe they settled on the male IDOC worker responsible. State's police spokesperson Aaron Snell told the Statesman that even if the prison system strictly prohibits filming a security video feed, it was found the action did not rise to the level of breaking state or federal law. So then why would you even say that we might have criminal charges if you knew you couldn't charge them? That's just a scare tactic. That was your way of trying to get one of these people to just be scared, like one of the, it was easy to find out who that was. Come on now. He has now resigned and there is no criminal violation we can charge him with. The video does not fall under the definition of contraband. Okay. Videotaping inmates isn't contraband. I don't know. That's just kind of weird. Prison officials declined to provide more information about the former worker, citing Idaho law concerning personnel. Could you cite the Idaho law for us? That's what I would have asked. I would have put it in here so we could all see it. So yeah, they're left and they're not here anymore. That's what they say. This is the picture that they took, or the video. I'm glad they took it. I'm not going to lie about that. I'm glad I saw him. I don't care about his right to privacy. I really don't. He didn't give anybody that right on, November 13th, 2022. So he shouldn't have that and right anymore either. Also, if you guys haven't seen my pre-recorded video, we did go through the new kites that came out from the prison for Brian Koberger. There was there was 3 of them, and then 3 responses. So if you guys want to watch that video, it is out. Just remembered that, so I thought I'd tell you. So, okay, we'll watch the footage of the car, and then we'll watch the footage of the girls at the bar. I was just trying to see how long this article was, because I was going to read it a little bit, but it's just surveillance video recorded. This came out October the 9th, so today. And it just says surveillance video recorded at the home near the Idaho State murders crime scene shows Brian Koberger's car roaring away from the crime scene after he killed 4 University of Idaho undergrads in a home invasion stabbing attack in November 2022. So it just says that his car, appears repeatedly before the murders as he circled the neighborhood. Then it sped off in the aftermath as he floored it away from the scene, and he took a circuitous route home with his phone turned off in an effort to obscure his whereabouts. Portions of the video were previously leaked to Dateline. Fox News Digital obtained about an hour, not 100. What's that, 100 hours? Sorry. An hour of video. I want to see the whole hour through a public records request. Okay, so we'll do that. Following lifting a gag order on the case. So we want the video from the 1112 King Road. That's what we need to put in for. If we're specific, then we can get it, and it probably won't cost us an arm and a leg to get it. So, okay. Now, this video is the same as this one down here. I don't know why they put it on here twice, but it appears to be the same. Let me double check. Maybe it's not. Hold on. I thought it was. Yeah, it is. Okay. I don't know why we're playing this one, but we're going to play this one up here. Okay. And I'm sorry, I was going to just say, I'll kind of like let it play through. And that way you guys can hear everything. Thanks, Kira. I appreciate that. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, Jeff. It's good to see you. I feel like it's been a while since we had a live. It's only been like one day. This is him making that turnaround because he can't drive. I do want to say this real quick. How did he pass his driver's license to even get his license? Like, I mean, this guy's a bad driver. That's Murphy barking. So that's 417. I can even go back a little bit. Oh, sorry. I thought I had the volume up all the way. I didn't. So I'll take it back again. Do you think that Murphy could be the reason why Brian Koberger like left Dylan alone? and didn't mess with her. Because it's 4:18 and Murphy's just barking his head off like it's nobody's business. I would think that would scare me if I mean, that would make me nervous if I was a killer and I'm, trying to either kill people or I'm trying to leave, right? I think the barking dog would make me want to go. These dogs are going nuts. Hey, it's okay. It was a dog over here. It wasn't out there. It's not a dog out there, guys. It's okay. Now they're growling at each other. Hey, get in your own beds. Come on. Come on now. Come over here, Riley. Come on. Come over here. All right, come over here. Araya. Isn't this like, look at him. Why is she doing that? Come on, Mia. Come over here. You're making her nervous, Mia. Come on. Look, you're making her cough. Come over here, Mia. Don't lay in the bed with her. She's laying in the bed with her. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. This is just a live. It's just how it rolls. We just roll around here, Hey, O'Reilly, look, don't give yourself a heart attack. You're too old to do that. See, it's okay. It's okay. You're going to hear the dog bark for a little bit longer. It's Murphy. They are like kids, cupcakes. Like, no, I mean, like, I've never had two dogs that act like more like sisters. Like the big one, the silver one has to lay with the brown one on the same bed. The brown one hates it, but she doesn't care. Silver one does not care. Golden and a Yorkie, that's awesome. Oh man, that's like two sizes. They're about the same size almost. Well, I don't know. Mia's pretty big. Okay, let's listen to Murphy. I didn't know that I knew he barked for a while, but his little puppy barks. And they're like his barks. Those were, I want you out of here. Like, I'm scared. I want you out of here. Like, those were pretty intimidating barks. Oh, it's the dogs up down the hall, like downstairs that bark, and that's what gets them barking, but they couldn't figure out where it was coming from. Okay, we're gonna listen to Murphy. I'm gonna mute myself. You guys gonna be. Yeah, Mia's over here trying to move my hand and like help that dog. There he goes. Okay. They want to bark so bad.
On the Senate agenda today, we go.
Let's go over here. And then because I have to pull the video up. Actually, I have to pull it up a different way. My dogs, yeah, they might have known that Murphy was stressed. Because little Mia, well, big Mia, she's back here now. And she's laying on the pillow that Reba got me. But she's yeah, like she was like lifting my arm up, kind of like get up, like go help that dog. Was there another car behind him? I thought I saw something like that. Okay, let's go back. Are you kidding? I can't go back. Let's see. There we go. I thought I saw like a couple shining lights. So let's see. There was one at 424. That was Brian. I think that was Brian's. Looked like it. No, there was just one. I think it was his headlights, the way they were shining. They shined on like another vehicle. But yeah, it was just the one car. I thought it was too, but it wasn't. So this video is about it's a minute and 21 seconds long. It's not there's no sound, so we don't know what they're saying. But I can tell you, as a girl that used to be 21, it almost looks like they're talking to this gentleman. I don't know who it is. I'm not sure who it is. Maybe I could see it better because I blew it up more. But they were talking to a guy, and it looked like they were having like a really good time with whoever this person is. Like Kaylee's laughing super like hard. Maddie's laughing, giving like fist bumps. I don't know. And then he walks away, and then they start talking, and it almost seems to me, and don't come for me, Jack Decor lovers, people that are on Jack's side. I thought it looked like Kaylee liked the guy, but that's just what I saw. So maybe we'll see something different together. We'll look at it. I don't know who the guy is. It could be Jack Decor that she's talking to, but she's definitely like smiling a lot more. I don't know. And it just makes me like happy to see this video and see them so happy. Although, later on they wouldn't be so happy, but it's just nice to see like them together and then be happy, being happy. So, and like she takes a picture of them and stuff. So like the family should have that picture, and I hope that they have that. So let me take it back to the beginning. Okay, so this is the beginning, and see she's pointing at the guy. Actually, what was Jack wearing that night? I can't remember. Let me see if I can find it. Wasn't it like a jacket? Okay, here it is. I'm trying to see if I can make it. If I can like zoom in on it, maybe a little. Okay, it looks like maybe a jacket that zips up. So let me stop sharing that. Share this with you. See how it's like he has a hat on, white tennis shoes. Almost looks, oh no, that's her arm. I thought it was the jacket part. So it's I don't know what he's wearing, like a sweater. Maybe like a 3/4 like zip or a quarter zip. I don't know. I'm not sure, but he's wearing something that's light colored. Hey, for Fireflies. I saw that she posted earlier. I think I saw it last night. Did I see that last night? I think I might have, but I can't remember. But I think that was last night. Okay, so we know what he's wearing. All right, let's go back to the video now. Just because I think the other guy's wearing. Oh, he's wearing a baseball kind of shirt, like where it's gray and then it's like blue on the sleeves. So we could just play this and talk through it because it's, like I said, it's a minute and 21 seconds long. But see how they're laughing? They just look really, really, really happy. And Kaylee looks super happy. Like I don't know, just something about her makes me think that she might have like a crush on that guy. I don't know. Lenora, there you are. Happy birthday, Lenora. Did you have a wonderful day? I hope you did. And this is showing yourself. Okay. I have to like show it on a different screen. So, and then that guy went to the bathroom. Now they're just talking, chit-chatting it up, talking about that guy probably. I don't know. Maybe they're talking about carbonara, but it doesn't look like that to me. It looks like they're almost talking about like that guy. Yeah, I think it's because I follow her, so it like popped up on my thing. My birthday's on the 17th, but so far so good. I got this aura ring, is that what they're called? Today I got this because I start my physical therapy tomorrow. I'm supposed to start my physical therapy journey. We'll see if I make it that far. So Vincent got me for an early birthday gift. He gave it to me. Okay, so yes, she's smiling. You know, they're just happy. They're just happy. So I'm gonna play it again. That way you guys can see it. It skips like that in the beginning because it was a video recording. And you know, you could tell that because obviously these are the clothes that the girls had on that night. Yeah, Sandy, it really is. Yeah, my birthday's coming up though. It's coming up quick. Ashley's is tomorrow. Yeah, it's actually technically right now in some countries. For some reason, I thought you were younger than me, more younger. Like I say that all the time. I think I said that to you anyway. I thought you were in your 20s, and you're like, no. And I'm like, oh, Ashley, I thought you were. I wish that we would know what they were talking about. I'm just curious, just because I'm a curious person. But whatever it is, it's making them both smile. You know. I know. I can't believe that. I thought you were like when you first started coming in the chat. I think I thought you were like 26 or something. Lenore's like literally 29 today. Like 29, not a day over. I'm older than Lenore. Me too. Me too. But they look so happy, and I love that. I love that. Okay. So the next thing I want to show you, you're going to get a lot of info tonight. Is this podcast. I'll put up pictures for it and everything. That way, you know, you'll have something visually to look at. But it's just the Idaho Massacre, the podcast that we've been watching on this channel. They went and they interviewed Detective Powell, and he takes us behind the scenes of one of the most complex investigations in recent memory, the search for answers after the tragedy on King Road. From the earliest hours of the case to the painstaking weeks that followed, Powell recounts the reality of working a true crime whodunit, the emotional toll on investigators, and the breakthrough that finally brought clarity to a community of mourning. So this should be a really good podcast from them. So let me stop that. Okay, and I will play this, and then I will put some visuals up for us. So if you guys don't mind, will you take a second and hit the like button for me? It really does help grow my channel. Also, if you want to become a member, I pinned the link up at the top of the there of the chat. So it'll be readily available to you guys if you guys want to join our channel membership. And thank you guys. Oh.
It became draining over the weeks. Like, man, we're like week 6 or whatever, and we still don't have anybody. We were all united in one common goal, and that was to find out who had caused this horrific crime in Moscow.
This is the Idaho Massacre, a production of KT Studios and iHeartRadio. Season 3, Episode 8, Behind the Badge. I'm Courtney Armstrong, a producer at KT Studios with Stephanie Leidecker, Allison Bankston, and Gabriel Castillo. Founded in 1939, the Idaho State Police, known as ISP, has stood at the center of some of the state's biggest and most difficult cases. Their mission is clear: to serve and protect the lives, property, and constitutional rights of every person in Idaho. To do this, they bring an arsenal of resources, state-of-the-art crime labs, critical funding, and cutting-edge equipment. These are the tools that local police departments often don't have at their disposal. On November 13th, 2022, these resources were called upon when the Moscow Police Department faced an unimaginable crisis: the quadruple homicide at 1122 King Road. 4 young lives were stolen: Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. Moscow police quickly requested backup, and ISP stepped in to provide support, expertise, and manpower. Their mission was urgent: to help identify who could have committed such horrific, unspeakable murders, and to bring answers to a devastated community. One of the detectives called to the front lines was Detective Hugh Powell, a 13-year law enforcement veteran who has seen his share of tough cases, but nothing like this. Today, he joins us to share what it was really like to work behind the scenes on one of the most shocking and closely watched investigations in recent memory. He's joined by KT Studios producer, Allison Bankston.
Take me back to November 13th, 2022. Where were you when you got the call about what happened at 1122 King Road?
So I was actually with my family at the time. We were driving home from church when my sergeant, Darren Gilbertson, got a hold of me and said, hey, we got a quadruple homicide up in Moscow, and when can you be there, essentially? So everyone rallied together, and we met up at the office in Lewiston, Idaho, and then traveled up to Moscow. And really, we had very limited information. And up to this point, in my career, I'd never had like a true whodunit homicide. Usually we have a suspect already in custody or on most of our scenes, or we have a good lead and we're actually like on a manhunt looking for that person or whatever, because we have good witnesses or things like that. But this one was like, we didn't have a witness. We didn't really have any leads yet. So we got called up there. When we got to King Road, got all our stuff set up, but they were still waiting on the search warrants to get approved, which took a little bit of time, about an hour or two. The detective that got assigned as primary was Detective Jeff Talbot for processing the crime scene. And he assigned me initially to collect some footprints in the snow and by castings and stuff of that nature. And so I went and did that. And then when I finished that, they were just getting done with like the photographs of the inside the crime scene. That's when I went in to assist to collect evidence. And that's when I first got a grasp of what truly had happened inside the house. Because up to that point, I hadn't been inside the house or anything like that. Definitely, I would have to say one of the worst crime scenes I've ever seen in my life.
As far as the crime scene goes, can you kind of walk me through the layout of the house and some of the stuff that you guys had seen when you entered that house?
So it's like 3 levels. There's like what I would call like a daylight basement area that faces to the north. And when you walk in, that's where, and you go up the stairs to the living room. There's 2 bedrooms down below. And then when you walk upstairs, that's the main living room and the kitchen. That's where Zane and Ethan's bedroom was on the main floor, so I would call the second floor. And then when you went up the stairs, kind of like kitty corner from the kitchen, the stairwell led you up to where Maddie's and Kaylee's room were. The one thing that stood out to all of us is how contained most of the stuff was, like as far as like blood and everything else was in Maddie's room where Maddie and Kaylee were, and then also in Zana's room where Zana and Ethan were. It was fairly well contained in those 2 rooms, which was pretty shocking, especially for the, how gruesome the crime scene was. So.
Okay, so that answers some questions. That the blood was contained to the scenes, the crime scenes only. So it wasn't really throughout the whole house. And that's why we didn't see, mass amounts of it. I mean, it makes sense.
I would expect it. We would have found more evidence throughout the house, but it just wasn't.
So not with the Brian
It was
Koberger.
very contained in both of those 2 rooms.
What did that make you think initially about who the killer could have been? You know, because it doesn't seem like it was a break-in where the killer took a bunch of stuff. It doesn't seem like he messed up a lot of things. When you're seeing two kind of really well-contained rooms, what did that suggest to you right away?
It just appeared like someone knew what they were doing. It wasn't just this crime of passion where someone just lost their mind and just started, killing people. It was something that seemed to be more methodical and more thought out. After we finished processing the scene, we turned all the evidence over to Moscow Police Department. And at that point, we had a briefing.
What are some of the first things you guys do once you have that initial briefing? And what do those briefings look like?
Well, that briefing, we listened to the 911 call that came in. And then we watched the footage from the officer's body cam from when he responded to the scene. And then they just talked about a few of the detectives from Moscow Police Department, their initial interviews with people that responded initially. And so they talked about all those interviews. And then, of course, we start getting tips that were coming in. People were calling in and stuff because I wouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people knew, like Zaina and Ethan, Kaylee and Maddie. And so it started to get a little overwhelmed. And we work with some amazing partners down here with the FBI. And so we got a hold of them and started asking them for their assistance because we knew this thing was going to probably grow a little bigger than we had initially imagined.
What is it like to chase down those tips and, do these initial interviews when you don't know who it could be?
Initially, what we were assigned to do is like area canvas. So we're just going door to door around the neighborhood, trying to find if anybody had, security footage, Ring camera footage or anything like that, and start collecting those things and start trying to put stuff together. It was literally just door to door, just running down all these tips. Some of them were crazy, to be honest with you.
What were some of the craziest tips that you received? Were there any that really stood out? Like, oh my goodness, there's no way that this could be true.
We had weird ones about the knife was buried under a bear in the middle of the field or whatever.
Buried under a bear?
They said it was a pack of bears had the knife or something, and it was where it's buried under a tent or whatever in the middle of the field. I remember that coming out. We kind of got a kick out of that. So craziest tips that you could possibly think of that people would call in, it was kind of nuts. But they all had to be looked into, because once we get that person, you don't want to have something like the defense come out and say, we're like, oh, well, this can't be the person because you guys didn't go follow up with so-and-so on this tip. You guys just blew it off. But that's really the person that you should be looking at. We just didn't want that to be able to come back and bite us in the end, And so we really wanted to produce a high quality case where our I's were dotted and our T's were crossed. So it was 16, 18-hour days I think it was the first 3 weeks. I don't think any of us had a day off. And we initially had a lot of suspects at first that would, check these certain boxes that we were looking at. For one reason or another, it's like, nope, that's not our person. And so it became draining over the weeks. It's like, man, we're like week 6 or whatever, and we still don't have anybody. Some of my partners that we talked to, there was, a doubt in the back of our mind. It was like, are we really going to find this person? Are we going to be able to seek justice for these 4 kids?
Let's stop here for a break. We'll be back in a moment. Idaho State Police Detective Hugh Powell was among those called to assist with the investigation into the brutal murders of Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. The murders happened on November 13th, 2022, and for weeks, Detective Powell and his team painstakingly sifted through hundreds of tips, leads, and pieces of evidence, each one raising hopes only to leave investigators searching for more. As the days stretched on, a chilling question began to hang in the air. Would this case ever be solved? Then, a breakthrough at the Idaho State Police Crime Lab changed everything. An unexpected discovery that finally pushed the investigation forward. To walk us through that turning point, here again is Detective Hugh Powell, joined by KT Studios producer Allison Bankston.
We found out that our lab down in Boise had found like a single source male DNA off the sheath. And so that was exciting. We're like, oh, sweet. And so we were hoping we were going to find someone fairly early, but not understanding that whole process. I mean, that was the first time I've ever worked a case like this, where you're going to find out who your suspect is through a DNA source that you collected at the crime scene. And then in December, when finally we are in the meeting with my Sergeant Darren and everybody else, FBI, all the way down to the Moscow PD and with ISP, and they're like, this doesn't go anywhere. You don't talk to your wife. You don't talk to anybody about this. Don't search his name. And they talked to us how they were able to get to the point we we're at now, to where we had a suspect. When the name finally came up, they're like, well, this Brian Kohberger. It's like, oh, lo and behold, he has this white Elantra. So that was a box that it checked, And then, oh, he's a student at WSU. That checked a box.
Wow, right. I can't imagine how exciting that must have been, just seeing all of these little investigations.
How about the bushy eyebrows? He's 6 foot tall. He looks just like he looks like the description of the person that we have a eyewitness for.
Puzzle pieces finally starting to really fit together.
And it was like, oh, he was a criminology student, and all these things started lining up. Like, well, why was the crime scene so clean? Well, this guy, this is what he obsessed about, criminology, and how criminals reacted to when they committed these crimes, and how they almost got, away with them. Or,
I mean, look at his pick. It even looks sterile.
How they were able to do these things with, leaving the least amount of evidence behind, So it was really interesting when all this stuff came out. And then it was kind of like that aha. It's like, oh yeah, we're 99% sure this is our guy. So that was, man, you talk about a weight kind of off everybody's shoulders, Even though we knew we still had a bunch of more work to do, it was finally, we have someone to concentrate all this effort, all this manpower, all this knowledge and experience into. Now we get to dig into truly who this guy is. Once we found out who he was, then I was assigned to interviewing some of the students there, or people that he had contact, phone numbers that were in his phone that we were able to link back to people in the Moscow, Pullman area.
Detective Hugh Powell conducted dozens of interviews as part of the Brian Kohberger investigation. Many of those conversations have only recently been made public in the Idaho State Police document release. We're going to take a closer look at exactly what those interviews reveal and what they can tell us about the case.
One of the reports that you had written that I found especially interesting is apparently you had interviewed someone who said that he talked with Brian Kohberger about capitalism versus socialism, vegetarianism.
It was his neighbor where he lived at his apartment, because his number was in Brian's phone. And so this is how we were able to track this person down. And there was like text messages between the two. And so I guess him and Brian would chat either in the parking lot or near their like entrances to their apartment complex or whatever. And they ended up, I wouldn't say like befriending each other. I think they were just more like acquaintances, and they would talk about, school and maybe similar interests and things of that nature. But it was interesting, we got to learn some of the things about Brian Kohberger, and that, yes, he was indeed a vegetarian, which is whatever. That's no big deal. But then he only ate one meal a day. And as we started to learn more about Brian, he early on in his...
I never heard that. So no wonders why he looks like see-through. You can't just eat one meal a day. Why is he complaining about his food intake at the prison then? Why is he so upset about his hot dogs not being on his plate with the rest of his food? I'm kind of concerned. This is Detective Powell, Hugh Powell from the ISP, Idaho State Police.
His early teens or whatever, he, had struggled with his weight and everything else. So that was kind of interesting to learn.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that's probably what it was. I've never had like an eating disorder, but he probably never wanted to go back to that weight again.
And then I think they talked about like where they like to go hike or run or whatever, and got to learn some things about Brian and their communications and his kind of more daily activities.
Did he say anything about his impressions of Brian's personality? Like saying, oh, he was kind of awkward, he felt off, he was weird. Did he say anything like that?
He did kind of say that he was kind of, I think if it was like introverted, yeah, they talked about politics, about capitalism, socialism, because I believe the person, his neighbor, he was from Iran. So that was kind of interesting. And that how Brian Kohberger thought partying was a complete waste of time. And since, Brian was from America, this guy was from Iran, I think they talked about some of the more political issues between the two or the differences.
There's another report that you did too that I thought was interesting where there was this famous pool party that he attended right before the year started. And apparently you had talked to a girl who got trapped in a conversation with Brian Koberger, which sounds like an awful place to be. And he just kept like going on and on about personality tests and what they mean. And she just didn't know how to get away. Can you tell me a little bit about that interview?
And that was interesting with her because when we first initially contacted her, she had no idea what it was about. And then when we asked her, like, oh, do you remember this person's name? And she's like, well, no. And we had already interviewed some other people from the pool party. And so I was just like, well, maybe he had contacted her at the pool party. So I was like, do you remember like attending a pool party this last summer or early fall or whatever? And she's like, oh my gosh. And it's like a light bulb went on in her head. And she completely... It's like, I remember this guy. He had come up to me and he wanted to talk about this survey he wanted me to answer for him, and she's like, I'm at a party, I'm with my friends. I don't want to be talking about this survey of people's personalities or whatever. She's like, that's kind of weird. And she's just, I'm here to have a good time. And she kind of, she felt very awkward around him. And even though she gave him his phone number so he could send her the survey or whatever. And then I think he contacted her later after the party and asked her if she had a chance to do that survey. And she was like, no, I didn't have a chance and I don't intend to.
Can we have the survey, ma'am? Whoever this lady is, I want the survey. I want to know what he wanted to know.
Or something of that nature. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. And that was kind of like, people at the pool party kind of had like the same general ideas. Like, why is this guy wanting to talk to us about these things at a party? It's not.
Because you don't know how to party. Because he doesn't know how. Because Koberger does not know how to party. That's why.
It's not normal. You know what I mean? So, and then as we learned more about Brian Koberger, well, he
put down the tofu and pick up the alcoholic beverage, maybe.
Communicator, and definitely was lacking some social cues.
Yeah, right. This one is super interesting to me too. The hotel stay back in June and July of 2022, when he had first kind of came out west with his dad to move into college, to move into his PhD program. They checked into a hotel together.
Yeah, so he did stay at a hotel, and I believe his father was the one that initially had made the reservation. And I think it was close to upon checkout, he noticed that they had overcharged him. And so he came down and talked to the lady at the front desk, and then they were able to work through fixing his bill and getting it straightened out. And then he got angry because they just didn't seem to be able to do anything correctly, at least up to his standard, I guess. The lady's story of the event was kind of all over the place. She wanted to talk about that Brian wanted to show his knife collection to her, and I was talking about, the sheath, and he had this really nice leather sheath he wanted to show her. And then he said he was meeting some girl named Maddie. So it was just kind of like all these things that she was talking about. It was apparent that she had read the PC affidavit for his arrest and then wanted to come and interject herself into the investigation. And not to say that she didn't have anything relevant to add to the investigation, but you had to kind of sift through what was maybe fabricated and what was true.
Detective Powell was also expected to be called to the stand if Brian Koberger's case ever went to trial. In the spring of 2025, Koberger's defense team pushed to have 4 alternate suspects introduced as part of their strategy.
Yeah, they wanted to blame 4 other people. That was what they were trying to do. That's crazy to me.
It was a bold move, one designed to cast doubt on the state's case. Among those 4 individuals, one stood out in particular. That lead was someone Detective Powell himself had investigated closely.
So Kaylee's father had called in a tip to us actually about, some stalkers. Potentially she had called her dad and said, hey, there's this guy at Winco that was kind of stalking me. And so me and my partner, we were tasked with going to the Winco Foods and looking at surveillance footage to see if we could, find Kaylee going into that Winco. And we did. We found Kaylee one evening entering the Winco Foods, and there was 2 males that were grocery shopping together. And one of the males saw Kaylee out of the corner of his eye, and he started kind of following her through the store. And that we were able to identify the person, and he kind of followed her almost out to her car in the parking lot. But then it looked like he got nervous and walked away and walked back into the store. So we were able to pull his debit and credit card. So we got his name, and then we were able to run that through the university, and they're like, oh, this is the student. So we were able to track him down and do an interview with him. And he was wanting to ask Kaylee out on a date, and he got nervous, but he had actually done it to a couple girls that evening because we kept watching him through the surveillance footage in the store.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, we got a bugle.
Can you imagine this guy? He's like, I'm just going to chase this girl down. Oh my, if I was Kaylee, I would have been scared too. I ain't gonna lie. Xana was in the car. I would have been screaming for her. Because Xana would have got out of the car and made a scene, right? She would have been like, excuse me, who are you? You right? I can just picture her being that person like that, just very who the hell are you? Kind of like a Maddie personality almost. I would have been, I'd have been yelling. I'm glad that she got to the car and she didn't have to talk to the guy, but that would have been scary. Any age.
Go swab from him and everything.
I hope no guys ever chase me down anymore because, I'm too old to even run.
Everything else, collected his DNA, and nothing came of it. But for some reason or another, the defense wanted to say, well, this is your suspect. This is the one who did it. So then they came and told me, this is probably what you're going to be testifying to at the trial, so you need to prepare yourself about your interviews you did with this individual.
Right. Yeah. I remember when that was all going on, when the defense had, submitted 4 alternative suspects. And then the judge, I think he said they couldn't even be brought up at trial because the evidence just wasn't there, no DNA.
Yep. So that's what I was kind of preparing for. But then when it came out, it's we don't have anything. The judge wasn't going to allow them to be named as suspects. So, and I think that was the defense's kind of last straw. They're like, oh man, we don't have any suspects,
Let's stop here for a break. We'll be back in a moment. On June 26, 2025, Judge Stephen Hippler denied Bryan Kohberger's motion to introduce alternate suspects at trial. For many, this was the final blow, the moment his defense strategy unraveled. With their last major move stripped away, Kohberger's legal team had no choice but to give in.
I had a choice.
I was actually down in Boise at the time. I didn't even know that they were having a plea hearing. And then literally minutes before it was supposed to take place, my sergeant who was down there for it, he called me and he's like, hey, you might hear something in the news. I just wanted to give you a heads up out of, respect for the work and everything that you've done and helped with this. And then literally half hour later, it starts hitting the news and stuff.
That's probably not how that conversation went. It was probably more like, hey man, we're finally getting out of this gag order. And that's probably what it was because that's hard. 2.5 years under a gag order.
As I started thinking about it, it's one to get found guilty by your peers, by a jury, but it's another thing. I think it's closure to someone that who did it. They have to get up there and they have to be like, yes, I'm guilty of these crimes, And I know it wasn't for all the family members didn't quite necessarily agree with that. But I'll say this, I was like, any state that has the death penalty, they're horrible about going through with it, putting somebody to death. Those persons are going to be on death row for 20, 30 years during all these appeals. It's going to cost the state tens of millions of dollars to its taxpayers. And then also every single time an appeal comes up, that family's going to be brought to relive this whole nightmare all over again. And it's going to keep happening for 20 or 30 years. Well, now there isn't any of that. He's guilty. He's spending his rest of his life in prison with no chance of parole, and he can't appeal it ever. And so, I think there's some closure when it comes to that.
You can only speculate, but do you have any theories on what his motive could have been, or do you think it's one of those things where we just might never know?
I think a lot of us in office have our theory. We kind of all agree that he was wanting to test out his own theory and thesis.
Oh.
that he had been studying and written about. He wanted to know what it felt like, because he's doing these surveys, like, how does somebody feel after they commit a crime? How did they feel before? How did they feel after? And I think he was, a very sick, twisted person who wanted to act those things out and find out for himself. And he found the softest, most vulnerable people that were in college. They were there to get an education and make new friends and make life memories. And then
Right.
he walks into that and totally ruins it.
And he wasn't there to do that. He was there to not do any of that. I don't know what he was there for, because, as soon as he got there, he started messing up big time. We heard all the complaints. They started as soon as August.
Destroys 4 families' lives.
As you look back on it now and you've solved it and the case is closed, what lessons have you learned, and how does it feel to have worked on something like this with so many other amazing agencies to bring closure to these families?
It was just the satisfaction of being able to solve a true whodunit case, and be able to work with so many amazing people, and to be able to see what true teamwork can accomplish. When you all put your egos and opinions aside, and you all have a common goal that you're able to work towards and accomplish. At the FBI, Moscow Police Department, just everybody, even the law enforcement out where we were able to arrest Brian Kober, who helped transport him out there. Just phenomenal interagency cooperation. And it was really unfortunate that what happened, but I'm super pleased with the outcome. And I hope the families realize the hard work that was put in to be able to seek justice for them.
More on that next time. For more information on the case and relevant photos, follow us on Instagram.
Okay, let me get the photos down. It always takes me a minute. There it is. Okay. It takes me a second to find it. My one dog is out there, and the other dog wouldn't let her come back in. She was like, oh, shoot. Did you hear that? Did you hear that squeak? You messed up. Messed up, Mia. She's tearing off another leg of a toy. She did that earlier today. She got mad because me, the cat, and the dog were in the bed. I took a little nap with them today. I never take naps. And I was so tired the last couple of days. And I took a nap, and I come out, and there's, fuzz everywhere. And this little cute fox that I got for her, it's missing a leg now. It has one arm and one leg. They won't, Zuper. They won't. But I am glad that there was videos out there that maybe can give them a little peace, that I'm glad that those kids took all those videos and all of those pictures, and they have all those they had all those memories. Because I know that I heard Kaylee's mom say before that there was pictures and videos that she had never seen of her daughter before. And I know that those are very exciting to see. It's just I don't know, a new thing that you can share with somebody. When you get to see a new picture. I actually just finally put a picture of my mama back out. I didn't have a picture of my mom out. I don't know where I don't think I have a picture of my dad. Sad, isn't it? I do, but I don't think I have a picture. I'm where I'm like this. Oh, hold on one second. Vincent's here. Hold on one second. Okay, yeah, you got it. You got a minute. They always let me know when he's here. I don't know why. I could have left the camera on. But I don't even know what I was saying. But yeah, those dogs are nuts. They were barking at Murphy. I can't believe they were barking that bad. I'm so sorry about that, by the way, guys. I didn't mean for my 2 dogs to bark when Murphy was barking. So if you missed the beginning of the live, make sure you go back and you check it out. We went through the leaker of the Brian Kober video. He's not going to be prosecuted. They just let him resign, which that means he didn't. Nothing happened. Bill Thompson was awarded the Daniel Chadwick Civility Award, and it's the first time they ever given it out. It's the first time they've it's the first year for it. We had some more Brian Koberger surveillance from the night of the murders. And you can hear Murphy start barking at 4:17 and some seconds, and he barks all the way through to almost, I think it's 4:20 like 419 and some change. And it seems to me like he barks until he knows that Brian is out of there, like away from the house. And that's a mean bark. That's a pretty mean bark Murphy had there, you know? Speaking of Murphy, let me show you this. I got a notification. It was today, actually, but this was from yesterday, that something new on Instagram. And I was like, what's new? Look at the ladybug. Do you see it on his nose? This is Murphy living his best life. He's at the lake. Look at the mountains behind him. It's beautiful. He just got done playing because he's got some, of the sand on his nose, and he got a little ladybug. And I think that they used to call Kaylee, like Kaylee bug or something like that. I know that it's something with bug. I know they did. I know that I heard that. I know I did. But let me know if you guys heard it. I could have sworn one of them were something bug, and it was Kaylee. But either way, very cute. I mean, like, seriously, a little ladybug on you. And then there's this picture. He's just running through the creek. I mean, look at this on the boat. Like, we don't go on boats. Have you guys been on a boat this year? I haven't. I want to go on a boat. There he is, just enjoying nature. He breathes better air than I do over here. Look at that. It's beautiful. Look at all the trees. Just living his best life. Oh, that's so cute. There's no noise. That's cute. What's he got? Oh, he's got the biggest stick I've ever seen. He's going to take that. Oh, it's like I think it's a fishing pole or something. I don't know what that is, but he took it. Oh, what a cute dog. Just like, just living his best life. He keep grinding up. I need to start. I gotta go to therapy tomorrow. Speaking of therapy. But it's not till 1. I thought I was at 11. But it's like an hour and some away. I'm one of those people, I'd rather just like be readmitted to the hospital. Just send me back for a month, get me, feeling good and all that. But if you're not following Murphy Gonzalez on Instagram, make sure you go over there. He has over 100,000 subscribers or followers or whatever you call him over there. And yeah, I mean, he's doing pretty good over there. And I think that, I don't know if Jack's in the partner program, but he should get in it because his videos get pretty good views and he could do more adventures with Murphy. He could have Murphy merch. I'd buy it. I'd buy the little barking Murphy so I could just, get rid of my dogs. Oh, that's okay. They usually come in when they need to. But thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate you. Bethany didn't take Murphy. Yeah, no, Bethany didn't take Murphy. Jack has Murphy. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Sorry. If I showed anything, it would be like Dylan did that. Or I don't know. That's why it's making me laugh so hard because I don't know. You have to laugh. Hey, Reba. Oh, I bet you are. I bet you are tired. You've been up all day, you've been at the hospital all day. But thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I appreciate it. I have 205 in here. If you guys don't mind just taking a second and hitting the like button, if you appreciate the content tonight. We do talk true crime every night on this channel, or I go live during the day, or I'll do pre-recordeds, or we do something every day relating to true crime. So if you're into true crime, that's your thing. Don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to hype the video after the live's over with, that really helps the channel as well. So we'll have a good night, everybody. Have a wonderful birthday tomorrow, Ashley. Because I won't see you until tomorrow night probably. So, but I hope you have a wonderful birthday. Hopefully you get to sleep for a while tomorrow. Say, Dale, it's mommy's birthday. I'm not taking you out here whenever mommy's ready. That's not going to happen. I know Dale won't do that. But thanks again, guys, for being here. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now.